U.S. Air Force vs. U.S. Navy. Who would win? The subject of who would win in a hypothetical confrontation between the United States Air Force USAF and the United States Navy USN is a complicated and multidimensional one. Both branches are essential components of the United States military, with distinct duties, missions, and capabilities. To answer this topic more thoroughly, we must examine the historical backdrop, strategic missions, technological breakthroughs, logistical capacities, and larger ramifications of such a fight. 1. Mission and role. The major tasks of the United States Air Force and the United States Navy differ, influencing their capabilities and operating plans. U.S. Air Force. The U.S. Air Force has air superiority. The primary goal of the United States Air Force is to establish and maintain air control. This includes suppressing enemy air defenses, engaging in air-to-air combat, and ensuring that Allied troops can operate free of substantial aerial threats. Global strike. The United States Air Force can accurately hit targets anywhere in the world. This comprises conventional and nuclear strikes using bombers, fighter jets, and unmanned aerial vehicles (UAVs). Rapid global mobility. The United States Air Force's fleet of transport aircraft, including the C-17 Globemaster II and C-130 Hercules, transport soldiers, equipment, and supplies quickly. Intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance (ISR). The United States Air Force uses a variety of platforms to collect intelligence, conduct surveillance, and provide reconnaissance. This includes satellites, unmanned aerial vehicles like the RQ-4 Global Hawk, and manned aircraft like the E-3 Sentry AWACS. U.S. Navy. Sea control. The U.S. Navy protects freedom of navigation and the ability to operate freely in maritime areas. This encompasses anti-submarine warfare, mine warfare, and surface warfare. Power projection. The Navy deploys power ashore via carrier strike groups, amphibious readiness groups, and expeditionary strike groups. This includes launching planes from carriers, deploying Marines, and carrying out missile strikes from ships and submarines. Strategic deterrence. The Navy maintains a nuclear deterrent with its fleet of ballistic missile submarines (SSBNs). These submarines offer a secure second strike capability. Maritime security. The USN secures sea lanes, safeguards maritime commerce, and performs anti-piracy and counter-terrorism missions. 2. Aviation capabilities. Both the USAF and the USN have formidable air fleets that are adapted to their respective operational conditions. U.S. Air Force. Fighter aircraft. The United States Air Force operates modern fighters like the F-22 Raptor and the F-35A Lightning II. The F-22 excels in air superiority due to its stealth, speed, and agility. The F-35A is a multi-role fighter equipped with superior sensors and stealth technology. ISR and support aircraft. The USAF uses a variety of ISR platforms, including the RQ-4 Global Hawk, MQ-9 Reaper, and E-3 Sentry AWACS. These aircraft improve situational awareness and offer command and control capabilities. Transport aircraft. The C-17 Globemaster II, C-5 Galaxy, and C-130 Hercules are among the transport aircraft operated by the United States Air Force. These aircraft enable the fast deployment and sustainment of forces around the world. U.S. Navy. Carrier-based aircraft. The Navy's major combat aircraft are the F/A-18E/F Super Hornet and the F-35C Lightning II. These aircraft are intended for carrier operations, offering versatility and the ability to project air power from the sea. Maritime patrol. The P-8 Poseidon and E-2D Hawkeye perform maritime patrol, anti-submarine warfare, and airborne early warning, which are vital for maintaining sea control. Helicopters. The Navy uses a number of helicopters, including the MH-60R/S Seahawk for anti-submarine warfare, search and rescue, and logistical support. Electronic warfare. The EA-18G Growler, an electronic warfare derivative of the F/A-18, can jam adversary radar and communications, increasing the Navy's survivability in disputed areas. 3. Naval capabilities. The USN's strength is its capacity to project power across the world's waterways while maintaining control of the waters. Aircraft carriers. The USN has a fleet of nuclear-powered aircraft carriers, including the Nimitz and Ford classes. These carriers function as mobile air bases, allowing the Navy to launch and retrieve aircraft in international waters. They form the foundation of the Navy's power projection capabilities. Submarines. The Navy's submarine force consists of Ohio-class SSBNs, Virginia-class SSNs, and Los Angeles-class SSNs. These submarines play critical roles in strategic deterrence, intelligence collection, and undersea warfare. Surface ships. The Navy's surface combatants, including Arleigh Burke-class destroyers and Ticonderoga-class cruisers, are outfitted with modern Aegis combat systems for air and missile defense, anti-surface warfare, and anti-submarine warfare. Amphibious assault ships. The Navy's amphibious assault ships, such as the Wasp and America classes, enable the Navy to project strength ashore by deploying Marines and supplies during amphibious missions. 4. Technological advancements. To preserve their competitive advantage, both the USAF and the USN make significant investments in technology developments. U.S. Air Force. The United States Air Force USAF is a leader in stealth technology, with aircraft such as the F-22 and B-2 intended to operate in disputed situations and avoid radar detection. Hypersonic weapons. The United States Air Force is aggressively developing hypersonic weapons capable of reaching speeds greater than Mach 5, which would give them a major edge in targeting time-sensitive targets. Cyber warfare. The United States Air Force has a distinct cyber command that is responsible for both network defense and offensive cyber operations. Space operations. The USAF, which is now part of the newly formed U.S. Space Force, operates a variety of satellites for communication, navigation, and ISR, ensuring dominance in the space domain. U.S. Navy. Shipboard air defense. The Aegis combat system, incorporated into many Navy ships, enhances fleet survivability by providing comprehensive air and missile defense capabilities. Underwater technology. The Navy invests in sophisticated sonar and unmanned underwater vehicles, UVs, to maintain its lead in undersea warfare. Railguns and directed energy weapons. The Navy is investigating electromagnetic railguns and laser weapons to give new capabilities for surface combat and missile defense. Autonomous systems. The Navy is developing unmanned surface boats USVs and unmanned undersea vehicles UUVs to improve operational capabilities while reducing crew risk. 5. Logistical capabilities. Logistics and sustainment are essential factors in determining the outcome of any military conflict. U.S. Air Force. The U.S. Air Force's wide base network and aerial refueling capabilities, including the KC-135 Stratotanker and KC-46 Pegasus, allow for global power projection and long-distance operations. Rapid deployment. The USAF's transport aircraft enable the quick deployment of soldiers and equipment to areas of war, ensuring prompt reinforcement and resupply. U.S. Navy. Sea-based logistics. The Navy's ability to resupply at sea via replenishment ships enables carrier strike groups and other vessels to stay on station for longer durations without returning to port. Preposition. The Navy's maritime prepositioning force systematically places equipment and supplies around the world, allowing for quick reaction to unforeseen crises. 6. Strategic considerations. In a hypothetical conflict between the USAF and the USN, strategic considerations would be critical. Geography. The operating environment would have a substantial impact on the outcome. The Navy's edge is its capacity to operate internationally on the high seas, whereas the Air Force excels at maintaining air superiority and projecting power from land bases. Command and control. Both services have complex command and control mechanisms, but their success is dependent on the unique scenario. The coordination of operations would rely heavily on the United States Air Force's worldwide communications network and the Navy's fleet-based command and control capabilities. Allied support. In a real-world scenario, both the USAF and the USN would require assistance from friendly states. NATO and other alliances would play an important role in providing bases, logistical support, and more combat troops. 7. Historical background and joint operations. History has proven that the USAF and USN frequently complement one another rather than competing. In conflicts such as World War II, the Korean War, and the Gulf War, cooperative operations were critical to achieving military objectives. The combination of air and naval power enables a more adaptable and effective response to a variety of threats. Interoperability. Modern military operations prioritize interoperability across branches. Joint exercises and activities ensure that the USAF and USN can collaborate seamlessly, exploiting one another's strengths to accomplish mission success. Mutual dependency. The USAF and USN frequently rely on one another for support. For example, naval forces may rely on the Air Force for air superiority and strategic bombing, whilst the Air Force may rely on the Navy for sea control and defense of maritime supply lanes. Conclusion. In a direct conflict between the USAF and USN, the outcome would be determined by a variety of circumstances, including the exact scenario, geography, and strategic objectives. Both services have distinct advantages that make them important to the United States military capability. The USAF's air superiority, strategic bombing, and ISR capabilities supplement the U.S. Navy's sea control, power projection, and strategic deterrent. Finally, the question of who will prevail is less important than knowing how these branches collaborate to pursue common goals. The collaboration between the USAF and the USN strengthens the United States' ability to respond to global challenges, while maintaining its position as a preeminent military force. Instead of competing, the USAF and USN collaborate and share capabilities, resulting in a more comprehensive and adaptive defensive posture. Let us know in the comments what you think about the U.S. Air Force versus U.S. Navy, who would win. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more captivating content on our YouTube channel.